user interface designer as well, and even the product designer. So I'll just jump into it immediately. The topic is creating better experiences in digital focused products. And the focus here is on Edtech. So I like to define the word experience, because this is the keyword we are looking at here. The issue is experiences. That's what you're giving to the users. That's what the users are going to be judging you by. That's what the users are going to measure your product by, your work by, the experience you're giving to them. So what is experience? No, I was a bit shocked to find out that this word experience, a lot of us have used it in the industry. We used it, we designed for it, we even understand what it is, but we don't really articulate it very clearly to ourselves. And when I tried to articulate it myself, I found that it was very, very, very valuable to know what it is. So experience is knowledge or impression acquired when a person observes, encounters, or interacts with an object, entity, or event. You get, so you see, you have a person, Jane. She encounters an object, good apple, and now she knows the taste. So this is her experience. Her experience is yummy. You get, so that is the experience she has. Jane eats good apple. Now she knows yummy. So, or you have Jane eats bad apple. Now she knows yuck. So that's the experience. The experience is the knowledge or whatever impression people live with when they encounter an object or an idea or an event. And in this case, let's go to the next. What kind of experience do you want your users to have? This is the major question you should ask yourself always as a designer. What kind of experience do you want your users to have? Is it the yuck experience or is it the yummy experience? So there are just two kinds. I mean, when you look at your app, when you're designing, when you're trying to solve a problem, what do you want them to finish with? So the word better, this word is a very, very critical word. Normally, we see this word as just an arbitrary word, but it's not. It's actually a quantitative word. It has a direction. It's a vector. So let me define it. Better is increasing the measure of a desired outcome. This word measure and desired outcome, I need you to take note of it. You know, I love the jobs to be done theory. It's based on outcome-driven innovation process, and the outcome-driven innovation process is based on building to achieve maximum user outcomes. So you note the user outcomes and try to increase it. So that's why that word better you are seeing there comes in. So you are trying to build a better experience. So this is an illustration for it. So you're looking at less distance, more distance. So what's the experience? This user wants to travel. You know, he wants to travel better. So he is going slowly with the camel, but when he now uses another product like a bike, he's going faster. So he still has a better experience. When he's using a car, he's going much faster and it's covering more distance. So the measure is a measure of distance. So that's better or faster. So create. What is create? Is to integrate, organize, and transform resources to produce a new idea, state, or object. So we are saying resource one, like wood, integrates with steel or combines with steel, and it creates a new object, a guitar. Yes. So what's the product? The product is any item, service, or system that is created and delivered to a person to enable them meet their needs. To enable them meet their needs. So what is a digital product? This is what we are now after. We are trying to create digital better experiences in digitally focused products, focused on Edtech. So what is a digital product? A product that is accessed via a digital medium. Example, mobile phone, computer, watch, TV, etc. So you know the definition of a product. A product is a product, but when it's accessed via a digital medium, it's now a digital product. It's important for you guys to take note of what I'm saying. These are very, very, very key things that I'll work with that. If you understand this place, this foundation, especially the way your strategy was defined, you'll be able to solve any problem easily because you understand it. So, product, a book, a digital device, a tab. When you put that product, when you're viewing that same book inside a tab, it becomes a digital product. It's called an ebook. But the book, the product itself is different from the medium, the tab. So don't get it mixed up. It's important not to get it mixed up, and we'll see why later on. So Edtech, what's Edtech? Is the application of technology technological resources to solve educational problems. The application of technological resources to solve educational problems. You see, I'm going to break down this more, break this down more as we go along, and it's important for you to take note of this. In technological resources solve educational problems, two different things. Technology, education, two different things. So Edtech equals technology times education. It's like it's not a plus, it's a multiplication. So you are applying technology across education. That's why it's a times. So this is it. You have Edtech. This is the medium. Education is is on its own. And you have it's now accessed through the TV, through the laptop, through the VR glass, through the app, through the headset or audio device, through the phone. So that's it. So the digital devices themselves are not the education. Yeah, don't mix it up. So it's different completely. So you need to be able to separate the problem you are solving from the device, so you'll be able to judge it better. So what does creating a better experience for Edtech product mean? It means to conceive, define, design, and deliver digital products that enable people in education. Those words in yellow, note them very carefully. To enable people in education to better achieve their desired outcomes. These are words that you already have in your definition. That's why I said that topic is a very, very smart topic, very, very wonderful topic. People in education to achieve their desired outcomes. So naturally, we need to know their desired outcomes. Now, there are 5 things to consider when designing Edtech products. The number 1 thing you need to consider when designing Edtech products is your audience. Number 2 is their skill level. Number 3 is usability. Number 4 is compatibility. Number 5, business efficiency. We're going to look into all these things in detail as we go along now. Number 1, your audience. The question you ask when you start to solve any problem at all in design, whether Edtech, any other field, is who are you solving for? And especially in Edtech, you need to ask that question, because Edtech is one sector that the spectrum of users is so wide. You know, you could go into maritime or into logistics. You're likely going to be dealing with only adults, a particular group of people. There are some products that just simply deal with a particular narrow spectrum of people. But in Edtech, you're looking at everything that ranges from a baby to an old woman, from somebody who knows something about technology to people who don't know jack about technology, and everything in between. They are in Edtech. And even you're looking at different sectors of systems in Edtech, learning, delivering, so many things. You need to answer that question: who am I solving for? Clearly, you need to clarify who you're solving for, because if you get it mixed up, you're going to solve a good product for the wrong person. So, who are we solving for? We are solving for people who are trying to get things done in the education space. People who are trying to get things done in the education space. This is a very broad word. People trying to get things done in the education space. Education space is wide, broad, as I said. So these people are much. So let's look at them. What are they trying to do? Now, like I said, I'm a stickler for jobs to be done. So I look at users not based on their personas as we normally see in design thinking, where you deal with just arbitrary personas or you try to build personas and experiment. We look at users and jobs to be done from the angle of what they are trying to do. Because what they're trying to do is what you want to help them do. So you should see them from what they're trying to do. Like when Henry Ford was, for example, was trying to work on trying to know what to do. He said if he had asked people in his days what they wanted, they would say they need a faster horse. You know, from that statement, was able to deduce that what they're trying to do is to move faster, to save time, to cover distance faster. So he got what they're trying to do. And though, because he was able to get what they're trying to do, he was able to build a product that was not what they had. If you look at products and users, you may end up trying to go around, you will miss the point. If you look at what they're trying to do, you will be more open to a lot of possibilities. Yeah, so that's the reason why you ask what they're trying to do. So Number one, what they're trying to do, number one is they're trying to learn. Number two, they're trying to teach. Number three, they're trying to facilitate. We'll define all these things as we're going along. Number four, they're trying to manage resources. Number five, they're trying to create content. And number six, they're trying to sponsor. So let's look at each of those things. Learn. Who are those trying to learn? You have school pupils, like students, kids, people who go to school, and then you have preschool kids, like babies, small children, 3 years old, 2 years old, 1 year old. They're not going to, they're preschool. You have after school persons, people who have done with school, have finished one school or the other. Maybe they finished secondary school. The ones have finished maybe tertiary institution. So you have everybody in that spectrum, after school persons. And you have people who are seeking training. People who are seeking training. You can know somebody who wants to learn how to sew, somebody who wants to learn how to bake, somebody who wants to learn how to repair a vehicle. It's a very, very broad. People are seeking all kind of training in different areas of their life. If you talk about Edtech, you would have, if you look at the products in the market today, you would hardly be seeing things like training. You see more of e-learning and schools and preschool kids and all those stuff, exams and all those things. But you hardly see people seeking training. But if you look at it from jobs to be done, you'll be able to uncover a lot of meat out there. So you see also advanced learners, like the ones in higher institution, university, postgraduate, and all those people. And people preparing for exams. You have those people. These are the things they're trying to do in learning. You have people with special needs persons. Special needs persons are like kids, like you have the autistic kids, you have spectrum kids who just are stubborn, who cannot see things in particular way, they just look at things in one way. Actually, I didn't even know about this kind of people. I ran into, I had a couple of ladies who wanted me to mentor them lately. And so when we got talking, I asked them what they do for a living. I said they work with spectrum kids. And I was like, what is that about? And they started telling me about some weird things, like kids who don't, they don't have to, you have to direct them to brush their teeth, like one by one, like you instruct them like a computer, brush your teeth, move your brush up, bring it down, take it left, take it right, those kind of, like, you write literal flows for children to carry out, and you have to guide them through all the time, because the children cannot do those things themselves. They have habits you cannot bend. It was a very, very complex situation, and I found that was a very interesting piece. So I use that now to coach them. I said, okay, let's build a product for those kids, and they're currently working on those things right now. So you have special needs persons like that. So even me, I didn't know about them, but they're there. So you're looking at that, those jobs to be done, it uncovers those people trying to learn. And let's look at the ones trying to teach. People trying to teach. You have them, the elementary and primary school teachers. You have freelance tutors. These are different kinds of needs here. Different kind of needs. You have mentors, people who are trying to mentor. What they require is different. You have lecturers. You have trainers. And then those who want to facilitate. You're looking at schools. Schools facilitate. People who facilitate are people who provide the means or the facility to carry out education, to carry out activities of education. So you have schools, you have training centers, you have learning institutions, you have skill acquisition centers, like you have the people who where they train people to make matam bags, beads, shoes, baking, all those things. These are skill acquisition centers. You have governments. The government facilitates. They try to facilitate, like government bodies like Ministry of Education. They are facilitating education. So these people are users of these people are people who are in the education space. Then people who are trying to manage. You have school admins. These people are trying to manage the activities in the facility and manage all the activities in the facility. You have the learning facility managers. And then you have those who are trying to create content, like textbook publishers, audiovisual material producers, curriculum creators, text question bank creators. You can see the broad the broad spectrum of the edtech industry. And really, as it stands right now, it's not really covered up to 10% of what was available. So you guys could change the game and start to open up different stuff out there for people. You have those who are sponsoring. The sponsors include parents, guardians, charity organizations. Charity organizations are there who are trying to send children to school, pay for their resources, hire people to teach children and all those stuff. Corporate organizations also sort of give people scholarship and they monitor those scholarship and their results and their activities, and NGOs. So why do these people matter? Why does it matter to pay attention to all these people, to know your audience? Why is it matter that, number one, they're the foundation of your design and products. If you don't know them, you don't have anything to design. They will determine the frame you're thinking by narrowing your options and informing your design strategy. So your options include what you are going to do, your objectives, like your features, what are you going to build for. It is these people's needs, their desired outcomes, that are going to inform the content of your features. Those who want to pass exams, for example, have a number of things. That's their jobs to be done. And what's the outcome they're looking for? They want to be able to access questions. They want to be able to open questions. They want to be able to answer questions. They want to be able to see if they pass questions, their scores in the questions. They want to see if they are growing or improving their questions. You see all these outcomes I'm naming here. This thing will form your features. They will form the things you're going to create and you're going to build for, because you know what these people want. And so if you can define that whole spectrum and come out with their filter out their outcomes, you have the foundation of your design, your product, and your frame of thinking based on what you find their outcomes. So number three, they're your primary stakeholders of your design. These people they are the stakeholders of your design, because they're the ones you are designing for. You are accountable to them. If you don't do what they want, your product is not going to sell. They're not going to accept your product. They're not going to adopt it. So it matters that you must understand these people. So how do you account for your audience? Number one, you not even number one, you co-create with your users. Your users are part of your team. See them as part of your team. Don't jump off designing of your mind. Carry them along all the way in the journey. How do you factor them in your process? Co-create with your users. Research the stakeholders and find out what they need before you start putting together your design board. So don't start to arrange your design, do everything that working on it without going through the stakeholders very carefully. So why you should co-create with your users? It enables you to create easy to use solutions that help serve a broad array of people. I think there was a mistake. Are equitable. So you can make for a broad array of people solutions that are equitable, inclusive, and accessible. Let me even break this down even further before I go to the next level. Solutions that are equitable are solutions that are equal for everybody. So you create solutions that are not just going to be easy to use by one person and difficult to use by another person. You get, everybody has something in your solution. You are building something for primary school kids. Every kid, from the low IQ to the higher IQ, is accounted for in your design. You get, so inclusive. To be inclusive means that also you are accounting for everybody. Their whole needs are met. You have respected their whole needs. You don't just focus and design for a particular group of people. So some people can use the design, others cannot use the design. So accessible to everybody means people in difficult states. Some people can be in places where the internet is bad. Some people are in the place where the internet is very good. Others are using phones that are very strong. Others are using phones that are weak. Somehow you find a design that matches for everybody because you know them. You've accounted for all of them. So let's go to the next thing you need to consider: skill levels. This is very important. Ensure that your UX matches your user skill level. So the question you ask yourself at this stage is, what is their experience with digital devices and products? Because like we said, a
Hello.
I think it is network, so let's wait for him.
Network, yeah.
I think his
Yeah,
network
it's still on the
off.
call. Yeah, it's still on the call, but I think it's his network.
Okay, so while we wait for
Sorry,
this,
guys.
okay, it's back.
Sorry, guys. I didn't even know when my internet. Sorry. Where did you hear me last? So I'll know if I lost you guys. So I can pick you guys up again.
Someone's blaming MTN.
Exactly.
But
That was. She's right. I was on MTN and it switched. Though it's not MTN's fault. I think it was my phone that just went off and then my system switched to my Wi-Fi network, which I didn't want. Where did I stop? Where did you hear me last before I went off?
You are talking about the experience level of users.
Okay, I'll just start afresh from there then. Okay, so I was saying that there are two kinds of experience levels: the above average and the below average. And the above average we call them tech savvy, and the below average we call them tech novice. Now, why is it important to consider user skill level? It ensures you create an app that has a high user adoption. I'm going to show you how that works. Now, user adoption, you have the savvy guys and the novice. And let me break it down further. You see this area, you see this pink area out here. These are the bounce region. The green side is the savvy. The savvy guys will adopt to technology easily because they know it. The novice guys will adopt a little of what they know. And if more of your features are built for tech savvy people, you have less of it being adopted by novice, and more of yourself, more of your product will be bounced. So as you see, if you optimize your design for novice users, there's an increase. Optimizing your design for novice user increases your user adoption overlap. So this area here you're seeing here is your user adoption level. This area is your user adoption. So the more you optimize for novice users, optimize for novice users. Your savvy users can use what novice user can use, but novice users cannot use something that savvy user can use. So if you want to carry everybody along, optimize for your novice users. So the more you optimize for them, the more you are going to have more have your overlap. So this your the adoption level will be increasing as you go through towards the right. So just understand that. So you bear it in mind that when you're designing any app, even Edtech app, in particular Edtech app, because Edtech has, like I said, has a broad spectrum. You're going to everybody, people that don't know anything about children, their kids who can use their parents' phone. Just my son started downloading my son downloaded Alpha 7 when he was I think 1 year and 2 months, or 1 year and 1 month. He was good with that game. You see, he was using, my wife was using a Lumia. He took that Lumia and downloaded the phone. I mean, when I saw Alpha, it had gone about 750 MB downloading before I saw it. I just let it download. And he downloaded a lot of games I was playing. He could use it. But you see, that boy at that age doesn't know anything about signing or sign up. He doesn't know anything about that. So even though he's using an digital product, there's a way those games are designed that allowed him to be able to use them. The people who design those games clearly factored in a child at that level, and that's why the child could use it at that level. So if they had designed for strong and more advanced users, he won't be able to use those things, and they'll crop him out of it. Yes, so you should consider the novice users when you're designing, optimize for them. So how do you design for skill level? Don't design for edtech. Design for education using technology. Guys, this thing, you need to pay attention to it. This rule applies to every sector. But right now we are focusing on edtech. But if you can take it as a principle and apply it to every sector. I'm going to break it down to show you, because there's a misconception in design, especially amongst younger designers. You just see things, you think that you perceive, when you hear that word edtech, it makes you think that the users there are technology people. not education people who you need to help using technology. So design for education using technology. So this is something I stopped. So don't design for these guys. Design for these guys instead. Because if you confuse these guys for these guys will be like this. Like what? And your product will wind up here. You get? So let me repeat that. Don't design for these guys because these guys are looking techish. Design for these guys. They don't know each other. They don't, there's no phone here. Eh? Because if you confuse these guys for these guys will be like, what's this? And your product goes here. They just put it away. So avoid viewing technology as a user category. Technology is not these guys. Rather, think of technology as a tool needed to solve a problem in the industry it is applied to. So industry plus technology is digital products. So education plus technology is an app. You get? So design for education using technology. All these things should help education, not see them as if these things here are the education. So what happens when we do design for education? We will mischaracterize our users, the users we are trying to solve for, by subconsciously assuming that they are technologically advanced. We will confuse these guys for these guys. So if you don't design for education, focus on education, not edtech, but education. If you don't do that, you'll be confusing these guys for these guys. These are the guys you're supposed to design for, but you'll be designing things for these guys. So, and what will happen is that it will cascade into a failed UX design. So these guys will be like this, and your product will wind up here. So, like I said before, what kind of experience do you want for your users to have? The yuck or the yummy experience? So let's go to the third thing, usability. Usability, this is a very important thing I need us to pay attention to, because some of the things I'm going to say here are not very popular, especially in junior level design. Even some senior level design don't think about them that way. They are not very popular, but you need to know them because they are important. They will cut your journey short and make you get fast, make you arrive at your conclusions faster. So usability is a core metric for measuring good UX in edtech products. You know that word, measuring. It's important for you to know that things are measurable. Usability is very quantitative, and you need to be able to, the topic states creating better experiences. The word better is a vector, and like I said, it was quantitative. Usability is how you measure better, very quantitatively, and control better. So the edtech product has to be easy to use, learn, and use. Don't assume that your users will find your app intuitive just because you do. Because it's easy to think that your user is thinking like you. Ensure that they actually find it easy to use. How do we optimize product usability? So you optimize product usability by maintaining the lowest interaction cost possible. Or I mistakenly use the word cost twice. So this is where I need you guys to pay attention. The word interaction cost is very critical because that's where the measurement comes in. You optimize your usability by maintaining the lowest interaction cost possible. Interaction cost is a frequently used value for measuring a product usability. So now, what is interaction cost? Nelson Norman, you know Nelson Norman now, the Nelson Norman group, the UX designer who works with Apple and has an institute now with I think he has an institute now, but and was lecturing in MIT. So Nelson defined interaction cost as the sum of efforts, mental and physical, that users must put in interacting with the product in order to reach their goals. Just focus on the words in yellow. Effort to reach their goals. That's the keyword. Effort to reach their goals. That is where users are going to throw your app away, or they're going to like your app. This effort, if it's too much, they'll throw your app away. If it's just easy, they'll just be flowing. There's a word my friend used back in when we were due day. A colleague of mine is UX, is a front-end designer. So he said when we're talking about the MacBook, talking about the Apple's MacBook, he said, man, the MacBook was good. It just gets out of your way. So the MacBook gets out of your way. When I was doing Windows systems, you experience all this hanging, dragging, everything. When you start using a MacBook, just keeps going. You don't know that you're just walking. It just gets out of the way. So there's no stress to it, and you love it. You get, so that is the experience that they give to you, and that's why they can sell very high value and people will buy, because you're giving people good experience. It just gets out of your way. So this is what effort is key. Effort to reach their goal. The Mac gets out of my way. I'm trying to reach my goal. So I reach my goals effortlessly using the Mac, but I reach my goals stressfully when I'm using the Windows. So how to manage or minimize interaction costs? You minimize your interaction cost by minimizing the complexity of your information architecture. That's where troubles might happen. I'm going to break this down more further. You look at this interaction, this AI, this IA. This architecture requires less click than this one. The more complex your architecture is, the more clicks your user will have to get through to get what they want, or have to be navigating to get what they want. Stress is increasing as your architecture is getting more and more complex. So you try to minimize the complexity of your AI. You will not be able to succeed in doing that. In the real, that's the ideal world scenario, but it doesn't work, because sometimes you're building things like enterprise software that have multiple layers, and there's some scenarios in Edtech that require that. When you're building, for example, you're building a solution for school management, a school management app, for example, you're accounting for multiple activities in that place. You're looking at complex information architecture. You cannot do anything about it. So there are also ways work around to it, and I'm going to show us how to do that. But your best bet is to try as much as possible to limit the complexity of your information architecture. So this shows you that as the number of clicks, as the number of use cases in your AI is increasing, and number of clicks required is going to increase. It will increase the interaction cost with more use cases. So your AI, your IA is having more use cases. As having more use cases in it, you need to the user will have to be getting more and more engaged to find a way to get. So if you have 10 use cases and user is looking for one, he has to deal with navigating through a probability of 1/10, 1 out of 10. So the more your use cases are increasing, the less his chances of finding one thing they're looking for. And so the more effort they have to put on to find one thing they're looking for. You get, that's why the interaction cost will be increasing with use cases. So how do you manage that kind of situation? How to solve the AI complexity problem? Number one, divide your use cases into 3 categories. You have 3 categories of use cases: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Then number 2, reduce the interaction cost for the primary use cases at the expense of the secondary and tertiary use cases if necessary. So this is how that works. Imagine that you're working on an app, and the app for kids has exam practices, live classes, question bank, you have quiz, and then you have probably ask a tutor session like you have in the U lessons and educator. So you have those 3 things. The kids are going to be coming there for different things. The question you're going to look for is that which is the primary and which is the secondary, which is tertiary. If you are picking, you're looking at the tertiary, you're going to have to determine which one is the primary, secondary, or tertiary. So how do you identify that? You can use something called a red route analysis to determine your primary use cases, because the primary use cases is what you want to focus on. The red route does this. So red route is like a table that splits your degree of uses, your degree of usability into 4 quadrants. So you're looking at the can say daily use, weekly use, monthly use, rarely used. So you can see that this is higher frequency. The higher frequencies of usage and the higher amount of people using is where you get your primary use case. So you're seeing that this daily use has the highest frequency and it is used by everyone. So at this point, you are seeing that the features at this point are your primary use cases. So they view apps and they view customer details. So at this point, this app is the view apps and view customer details use cases are the most used because they are used more frequently and they're used by the highest number of people. So you make this area, this red route, your primary use case. Why is it called a red route? It's because of traffic. You know, you use a traffic app before, like Uber, or Google Maps. You find that those red areas shows you where traffic is heaviest. So it's a red route because the route your customers are passing through to get to those points, you're going to have heavy traffic passing to that point. So you prioritize the red route more in the use case and optimize to make sure that those places are more available to users, and then you push the secondary and tertiary ones behind. For example, things like settings in an app are hardly used. So you cannot be putting settings at the front of your screen. You push settings back towards, hide it somewhere there. Then you move your most used the most used features to the front. So that way you optimize for easier reach. So these things, I think I will drop a link for you guys in the chat later on. You can go and read about red routes and what's it called again? The interaction cost. Yes, I'm going to read about interaction cost and these things. So I'll leave a link for you guys. So compatibility. This is a very important feature to understand. Like I said, the Edtech product should work well in non-ideal conditions. What is the common non-ideal condition? Low bandwidth internet, for example. Your app cannot be accessed by people who are using low band. So people are living in areas where there's no internet. You want to build apps for example, when Bridge Academy was trying to solve for their app, they were looking at apps that are going to be functioning in villages and low internet areas. Now, how do you design for those kind of places where you're going to use low performing devices and low bandwidth internet? How do you design for low bandwidth internet cases? Optimize your visuals, number one. Number two, use responsive designs. Number three, use intuitive flows and hierarchies. I'll break all these things down. Optimize your visuals. Detect when pages are loaded from low power devices and low internet speed. So once somebody loads your page and you find that the internet speed is low, engineers should be able to pinpoint those conditions. When you see that, use optimized images and videos. And where you can afford it, and you can optimize your images and videos. For example, you can use Photoshop or some of these apps to reduce the quality of the image at that kind of condition. And then where you can be afforded, use CSS or SVG images, because those are just codes and vectors and animations in place of bitmap format. And then create a light version. Using responsive designs, you create a light version of your app, your site or app to load when low performance conditions are detected. So you can have two versions, a light version that doesn't have, like you can use your usability, helps you know the features that are more important, your primary use cases. You can use those ones to create the light version of your app. And so when you sense or detect low internet conditions, you load those ones for users so you can get things done until the internet changes. So when you're designing the third thing to do is to use intuitive flows and hierarchies. So for low bandwidth users, each misguided click means waiting on another page to load that may not have the information they're looking for. So if my internet is bad and I mistakenly click on something wrong and it loads a wrong page, for me to go back, I'll be waiting again because I'm waiting for it to load slowly. So you ensure that your site navigation is logical, intuitive, and to enable the user accomplish their goal in as few number of clicks as possible. So this is going back to what we just discussed in usability. So once you sense this, you have to design a navigation system or an information hierarchy that's very efficient, so that these guys cannot make the mistake of clicking wrongly and then find themselves in a situation where they get frustrated because, oh God, I made a mistake. I have to now wait for internet to load all over again. So now the last thing we're going to consider is business efficiency. This place is very slippery because many people don't consider this part. I'm going to show you why. UX design also needs to drive business values by considering the business goals behind the tools. People design mostly for front end stuff. So you design for the users in the front. We hardly account for admin. So if you see many admin apps, admin, have you ever seen an admin UI? The kind of work we do to make sure that the front end, the e-commerce site is looking good. But if you go and see the admin part of it where the content is uploading stuff, it's very ugly. Nobody cares about the content, guys. Like, no problem. So that's just hidden. Just give them anything, But I'll show you why it's not good to think that way. The effects of inefficient design. Effects of inefficient design on stakeholder ROI. So designing badly affects ROI on businesses, especially admin areas, because the effects of UX design multiplies with the size of the user base. So if 10 people are using an app and the UX is bad, it will affect 10 people. But if 100 people are using it, it will affect 100 people. Now, if those 100 people are having activities in a system, they're interacting. Interactions multiply the effect of anything, whether it's good or bad. So as it's increasing, that's how the bad UI is going to be multiplying the effects across that user base. So users of Edtech products are usually in a large community. And so large-scale inefficiencies generate costs due to time and money spent on exploring workaround solutions. So if you design badly for them and they're having problems, they will have to look for workaround solutions to cover up for the bad UX. And that thing is costly. You get? So it's not good to not consider the business end of the market. So how to design for business efficiency? Understand and define and account for your business processes in their business processes in your design. So look for the business process of the schools, the admin in particular. This just follows the same process we've just gone through with the normal users, with the students and all those other users, where you have to research the stakeholder, find out who they are. You just treat the admin guys, treat the business guys like you treat the normal user. So you include the business and stakeholders and school decision makers in your co-creation design process. Co-create with the back-end admin users also. Treat the school board leaders and government officials as users also. So that's those 5 things cover what you should consider when you're designing things like in Edtech. If you can have those things as your framework, you'll be able to now apply all your design thinking methods and your jobs to be done methods, anyone who favors you, to actually constrain your process to produce a good and efficient and valuable and usable product for users. So we can take questions now. Sorry, I don't know why I was able to make it to 40 minutes. I think I exceeded the time. This is 7:51. Sorry. Please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Samuel. This is a very, very information and knowledge packed presentation. Thank you so much. Right. So we'll be taking questions now. So please, guys, let's use the hand feature here, the raise hand feature. Let us use that to indicate that we want to ask questions. So we're going to be taking 3 questions. So in pecking order, let's just raise hands and then we'll take questions.
Okay, Matthew.
So yeah, I see only Matthew. Is there any other person that wants to raise his or her hand? So we'll take the questions at once. Please be reminded that we will not take questions from questions, right? A lot of questions give us a question.
I mean, nested questions.
Exactly.
Or cascading questions.
Matthew, please ask. Okay, the best Ibrahim in the last hour decides to raise up his hand. Okay, so we just have Matthew and the best Ibrahim. So no other questions. Matthew, please ask your question.
Okay, good evening. Thank you so much,
Yeah, good
Mr.
evening,
Samuel.
Martin.
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you very clearly.
Okay, so actually, my question is just very serious. I wanted to ask that will this slide be available? Because I think you were a bit fast, and I was not able to go through those slides in very good details to understand everything. So I really love the presentation. Like it was so like this is I see this one as EdTech 101. Like if you just want to just go anything about EdTech, and because there is this stuff that I've gone through a lot of what do you call it, this education platform, and sincerely it is just otherwise. They are building it for something else, they're not building it for the learners. Like I can
Yeah.
see those points that you pinpoint and they are just very true. But the thing is that I just want to like this slide, like how can we get access to it, please?
I'll give you. I'll leave it and give you. I was thinking that you guys will actually ask for it. Don't worry. I'll leave it as a link. I'll leave it as a link.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
send you. I'll send you a link to the slide and some links to some place where you can get more information about it. I'll add some links to the slide also for you. Oh, I'll send it to you guys. I'm sure
Okay.
she'll be able to get it across to you guys. I'll send it to her and then she will share it to you people also.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mark. We will definitely make the slides available. The best, Ibrahim, please answer your question. You learned from the
Right.
best.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Samuel. It was very enlightening session, and I really appreciate the presentation. Happy to be here. Okay, so based on your presentation, because I also designed for Edtech as well, so could relate to some of those things you pinpointed. But I want to ask from your own perspective as someone that is experiencing the industry, like for live sessions on a platform, is it better to design it in such a way that a third party holds the live session, or would it be an inbuilt session based on the fact that we want to design it for people in villages as well that don't have access to good connection at all? So is it better to also put that in mind that okay, let's design it whereby we use a third party API that has maybe an API of Zoom or Google Meet, whatever, and put in the design, or just to have the live session designed with the whole design? I don't know. I don't know if you get my question.
I don't get it much, but I can. I will reframe. I'll give you a structure in which to frame your question so you can hit the nail on it.
Okay.
So, what is your user? What are your users trying to do?
So the users are trying to also have live sessions with the tutors, live classes.
So the users you are designing for now are students trying to receive classes from tutors.
Yes, on their portal.
On their portal. So there is a portal. So these users are people trying to receive lessons, right? Live classes from
Yeah.
tutors. So what's your question?
Yeah.
What's
on the
blocker
portal
now?
they can take. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
So what's that? Yeah, I'm hearing you. So what's the difficulty?
So more like, is it because based on your design, we're trying to make it simple. We're not trying to make the design heavy, such that based on maybe whatever low band frame or whatever it is.
Yeah, I get.
Yeah. So is it better for live sessions to hold on the platform or through third-party APIs?
So that question totally depends on the engineering analysis. So is your third-party API lighter and faster, more efficient than your own app? Your assessment. Is it easier for them to access third-party API? Is third-party API more better designed to give a better usability than your in-house platform, or the reverse? Okay, that's where it just comes in house. So which one is better? I mean, that's all you just need to know. Just get to because like I said, usability is quantitative. You can measure it. You can measure everything there. You have metrics to measure, so you can look. One of the ways you measure usability, I wasn't even able to touch on it because of time, is you use data from using for a live app, or if the app is live, or if the app is not live, use the interview. So from the interview information, you can skim and know where the user's outcome and their flows are like I can see where blockers could be. So you can easily tell how you should reduce and shorten their journey. If it is a live app, you can see as they're using the record, the data generation, your speed, the engagement, the heat maps and all those things you're using. You can see where there's getting things slower or not. You can know that. You can try, okay, let's try the third party app. Are you getting it better or faster? I just know better. So if it's better, just go for it. Go with the one that's better, because the end game at the end of the day, so make your users be happy and say that your app gets out of their way.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, the best Ibrahim. We've come to the end of today's session. It's been a very, very insightful section, and we've learned a whole lot. Personally, love the presentation, and it's something that we'll definitely go back to again and again. So this is about time that we take a live selfie here on Perxels. I know we're in Nigeria, and yeah, some people might be in the trenches, right? So I mean, if there's lights in your area, please, you can just turn on your camera. Let's see your face.
Brian is looking very good.
Let's see your face, and yeah. So I don't think we have enough numbers here. Why is everybody not turning on their camera? There's no lights. This guy telling me we want to wear your shirt. Okay, I understand. I get it. Okay. So why is I can't see any lady right here? It's just guys and our cameras are not.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know. I was hoping to hear from the ladies. They didn't even ask questions or something. What happened to the
about that
This weekend they're out for the club.
Is that time? Which club? Is that time of the month where there's a lot going on? So I think people just kind of calm. Okay. Okay, yeah, more people are turning on their cameras. Thank you so much. You can use the torchlight. It doesn't have to be so clear like that. Don't worry, we understand. All right. This is how much we can take. Say cheese.
Cheese.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Samuel. When can we find you? If we want to find you, like, where do we? I want to reach out to you, because I'm definitely sure some people want to reach out. How do we reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on LinkedIn easily. Just drop a message for me. I'll respond to you. And I think I have my phone number there, but if you want my phone number, just ask me on LinkedIn. I'll drop it for you as well. You can reach me easily.
Okay. Thank you so much, Samuel. It's been a very, very insightful section. I'm sure a lot of people have learned a whole lot from today's AMA session, right? So on Wednesday, we usually have Twitter Spaces where we get to discuss and chat about things around design and tech in general. And also every Sunday we have AMA sessions. So just you can also follow our page at Perxels,
I will.
to get more people. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys. It's a lovely Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. Oh my God, tomorrow is Monday. Stand-up meetings here and there.
Oh God, it's Monday. Thank God it's Friday.
I mean, start the day with meeting, you end with the meeting. May God help us. Still,
yeah, amen.
We're trying to make a daily 3-5. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
All right. How do I get your
Bye,
Twitter space?
everyone.
How do I
Is
get
that
your
how do you get
Twitter
what?
space? Your Twitter space. Is it
Yeah,
what
just
is
on
your name?
at Perxels on Twitter. Just,
Okay. All right. I'll take them.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Okay, I'll send it. All right. Capture the link.
Sorry, what about the link to the
Okay, let me drop that for you now.